Hello, folks, and welcome back to Season Discovery. I was really nodding last time. Did you disable? Did you disable everything? Oh, it's out of date. It's loaded anyway. I updated things, so chests. All the battered chest handy notes. Oh, okay. But yeah, I was fucking knackered last time. I'll try and say the thing I know what I was trying to get at, so I can at least try to say it. You know the NPC that we were going over on the western bank of. I don't know if I used. No, I did use that. You know the NPC on the west bank of. Just move my cop. The west bank of. Eastern Plaguelands. You do some random quests for him. That's Tyrion. In his backstory, he was the knight that fought the orc, but the orc saves him. But he sees the orc getting imprisoned and dragged off to Stratholme to be executed. So he's like, by all right, the orc should die, but it would be since the orc saved his life as honor as a warrior, he had to return the favor, even if it lost him the light for doing what should be a sin. So he sneaks into Stratholme and breaks the orc out and escapes. But he finds that the light has not abandoned him. He is not denied the light. So he comes to not hate the Horde. Like he opens up to the Horde because in his eyes the light accepted it. It was the right thing to do to save the orc, despite it being an orc. So, but here's the thing: look at the Scarlet Crusaders. In reality, what was him an awakening was just the light not caring. And the whole story here of, the Aeneas saying, what if others could wield the power of the light against it? Well, this is a new quest chain, and, not an original WoW. He's not wrong. Like, look at the Scarlet Crusade. They've killed so many innocents, and yet they can still channel the light. Look at various enemies throughout the game that are bad people, and they can still channel the light. This is just the first time it's been explicitly said. But it has been an element within WoW from the get-go. From Classic. Maybe not Warcraft 3, but it's been something that's been in the game since, the start of WoW. Cannibal ghouls, gibbering ghouls, diseased flares. There's a lot of them back here. We'll go hunt them down. Just new go these are on. Oh. Wait. Scourge Invasion. I never got to see the original Scourge Invasion. I got to see the Rat of the Lich King Scourge Invasion, but that's it. I had great fun with that. That was when I was early days in WoW, and it was a special time. remember playing around with it a bit, but it was too low level to really do much. But I remember riding through, like, I was in the Kessel quest in at early Blood Mist, so you have to run through the length of Azure Mist and back, the Kessel run, and you get a temporary mount to get you excited for when you get one yourself. And I remember seeing a Draenei guard fighting a horde of zombies, and I like rode through the horde, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And I didn't get attacked. That was awesome. I understand now why I didn't, but I was kind of expecting them to have clipped me or to have aggroed or what have you.
It's too far away.
Hmm. There's not many. Plague Wood, Scourge Crossing. There's just a lot of other enemies there. Then there's the invisible cons. We'll swing up north. I know there was a quest to kill a giant grub here. A wanted quest. It was huge. There's a huge like gouge it was chilling in. Like it would patrol the length of it. I wonder if that was a... I can't remember if that's in here right now or if it's added in later on. Because like there was quests added in Rot for classic zones. Like stealing the pillows of the... Oh, there's an enemy I don't remember. I've like run around here plenty before. I haven't run into that. May have come with the recent patch that's added stuff here. I need to get back into playing this and doing stuff because I want to see stuff in the game, but I've just kind of fallen out of it. It was just so hard to get like runs together and whatnot, and I felt so awkward that I just like I just kind of ended up giving up.
I'm out of range.
Suppose I didn't try that hard.
It's too far away. I'm still recharging.
Don't have the article information on right now. Fuck the banshees. Cool.
I'm still recharging. That spell isn't ready.
Fucker. Vader's Scourge down. Perfectly possible the enemies here share respawns, so Didn't mean to do that. I was trying to find my healing spell. I need to kind of remember. I only partially remember the UI, so I need to. You know, take my time to relearn it. Not sure what's with the whole mushroom thing. Like, I don't. It's not like I dislike it. It's just the mushrooms weren't a thing in the original game, so I don't know. Like in Warcraft 3 or Frozen Throne, there wasn't a whole mushroom vibe connected with blighted areas. It was just dead trees, and not trees like this. So I'm not sure what it's about. I'm just gonna move on, because it's a bitch and a half to try and find these spirits. There's crystal over here. I don't remember it, so either I stumbled onto something else, or... Yep, Scourge Invasion.
That's still recharging.
This is probably group content. There is a lot of fuckers here.
That's better. That's still recharging. I can't cast it.
Kill or no.
That's still recharging. That's better. I can't cast that yet. That's better. That's still recharging. I can't cast that. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast it. That's still recharging.
Getting pretty tapped out here.
That spell is ready.
You found this letter on one of the many Scourge minions you've slain. From its appearance and smell, it has been with the undead for some time. Perhaps someone at the Light's Hope Chapel would be interested in examining it further. Dearest Amelia, tonight I've seen things that haunt me.
It's too far away. That's still recharging.
Oh, damn it. necrotic shard.
I can't cast that yet.
Hmm. It is 5. Yeah, I think this could be a 5-man tank. One of each of you has to stand there. And yeah, this hasn't been looting them. Nope, defense 299. I wish Holy Wrath there was a instant. Come on, leash, you fuckers.
That spell isn't ready yet.
If Holy Wrath was an instant, it would be much easier to get away. You just did not want to leash.
That's still recharging.
Bit far ranging of an enemy.
Spell isn't ready yet.
So it's a note from a soldier who... Mount Kel'Thuzad. Let this gloom serve to remind you. The shadow of the scourge is all-encompassing. There is no escape. Dear Somalia, tonight I've seen things that will haunt me to the end of time. Stratholme is aflame, and we are responsible. Our prince led us into the streets of the city tonight. He ordered us to break into the homes of the townspeople and kill them in their sleep. They were plagued, claimed to Lord Arthas, and it had to be killed before they killed us. It was a slaughter. Hundreds died silently to the swords of those sworn to protect them. I could stand it no longer. I fled. The deserter I may be, but I could not commit such atrocities. In every home I could not help but see your face, or those of our children, about the victims as they died. If setting against that means being a traitor, then so be it. I hope to find my way back to you in time, but the roads are unsafe. Give our children my love in my absence, James. I don't think Arthas was necessarily wrong. Here it's been there's an annoying issue with consistency in Blizzard stories. They will retcon things at the moment's notice. In Warcraft 3, the people weren't killed in their sleep at night. They were and in Calling of Stratholme, they weren't killed in their sleep at night. They were killed in the daytime. They were killed waking in the streets. This is yet another retcon. Calling of Stratholme was much more accurate to Warcraft 3's depiction of it, even with bronze dragons attacking Arthas. It's more than a little frustrating. Huh. Have I missed out on his quest or something? No, no. It's of Love and Family. It's over... over at Sholomance. I dropped it to make space, but I'm gonna go pick it back up. But yeah, it's an annoying issue with Blizzard and lack of consistency in their stories. They'll depict things one way, then they'll retcon it and depict it another way. Then they'll retcon it and depict it another way. So it's just there's an annoying lack of consistency with the way things are, and then they'll put out a lore book that will disagree with anything that happens in any of the games. Um, they'll put out lore books that are just entirely non-canon. There's an annoying lack of quality control with Blizzard stories. There's an annoying lack of quality control. There's an annoying lack of the game being treated proper. I like the setting, I like the world, I like what they have, but they don't treat it justice. It ends up feeling to me like the company itself does not like it. I quite like WoW, but the company itself makes it kind of hard. This is also why I haven't gone back to the undead character in a while. My rant in that season kind of killed stuff on me. I'm also generally burnt out on WoW, but that didn't help. Beyond that, I've also lost all those auctions. I logged back in a while back, and it's like, oh shit, I had to save those. They were gone. I don't know how late I was, but I was late. But excuse me. I like WoW. I think it's I think it's fun. I enjoy the world that's here, but Blizzard does not really seem to care to do a good job with it. You know? They'll retcon things at a moment's notice. They'll change shit at a moment's notice. They'll try and give characters story arcs and then gut the middle and expect that to be sufficient. I get that there's constraints on development side, but I'm still just thinking back to Euro, how they completely fucked up her whole progression. She starts off as random Draenei chick, and okay, she's going to end up as an Exarch. Okay, cool. You need to give me something to work with to justify her being an Exarch. They gutted it. She was going to be involved in the whole reclaiming a Stratholme thing, not Stratholme, Shatrat thing. She was going to be involved in that, but they proceeded to remove it and just give the payoff when there wasn't anything. The whole Garrosh be just siding with us. He got the genocide of the Draenei previously, and you're just forgetting about it? I guess it could be appeal to greater evils. Gul'dan is ascendant. But they kind of just brushed over the fact that he still led the genocide of... He still genocided the Draenei. Tried to genocide the Draenei. And he wasn't even demonically corrupted like the previous orcs were. They just brushed over that. How him and his Iron Horde did all this. So, Wad was butchered. Jaina had a whole redemption arc that had no redemption. Either the arc or for her herself. Now, you may be puzzled as what I mean by redemption. Have you played the Rexar campaign in Warcraft 3? It's a little bonus campaign. Well, not little, but it's a 3-4 act bonus campaign that has very few macro missions. It's just you and hero units like Chen Stormstout going. It's fucking cold here. If you hear me shivering, that's why. It's you playing as Rexar sometimes with units, but mostly it's with heroes, and you get unique items, and it's very much like a proto WoW kind of thing almost, but as a single player game, You're running around doing quests, collecting 10 bear asses, this kind of thing. It was a fun little campaign, but it's very significant to Warcraft's story. It follows the founding of Durotar, the founding of Orgrimmar, and Jaina's family. Her father, Darian Prelmore, whatever he was, the Lord Admiral, turns up. He followed the Horde to Kalimdor with his armada. He commandeers Terramore, refuses to listen to Jaina. She ends up having to teleport away as he's just going to arrest her, or lock her away, put her in timeout. And he's trying to restart the war with the Horde. Even though Jaina is finally after negotiating peace, he doesn't want peace. They killed his son, so he wants to exterminate every one of them. Even if it was a different Horde, he still wants them all dead. Even if the reason part of the reason why the world isn't covered in demons right now is because of the Horde. He doesn't care. It's kind of understandable, grieving father, blinded by it, but yeah, he's just effectively trying to lead the world into yet another war, right after it's licking its wounds from 2 wars and a demon invasion. Kind of a terrible idea, Time and place. Jaina steps to one side. She has too much respect for the Horde. She's really come over to seeing them not as just brutal savages, but actual capable thinking beings. She is trying to give peace a chance. And she's not going to turn her back on her newfound allies who stood with her against the demonic threat. They fought the good fight and she's not going to disrespect that. She loves her father, but she's torn between both sides, so she steps away. She does not help the Horde. She doesn't help him. She throws her hands up and leaves. The people of Kultiris hate her guts for that. They see her as a monster that sided with the demonic Horde. And they look, in the BFA cinematic, look ready to lynch her when she comes in. Now she spends the entire base game of BFA imprisoned. She's been tortured and tormented, but none of them will care. Given that they were set to lynch this powerful archmage, they probably didn't know how powerful she was, but they knew of her magical prowess, presumably, and all the civvies were still ready to try and dogpile her in the streets. So they wouldn't really care if she's been tortured. They probably want to do it themselves for her sin of siding with the Horde. So she gets tortured, and then she somewhat helps with the siege of Browse, and then summons the fleet back, saving one of the former Lord Admiral's last child. In the eyes of everyone else, she was probably disowned. Again, they were ready to lynch her in the streets. They'll probably sooner call her a witch than the daughter of their beloved admiral. I think that sounds reasonable. Obviously, this isn't stated. This is just like they're angry with her. And to the point of looking like they're going to lynch her. We get arrested simply for being her accompaniment. They're hardly going to think anyway highly of her. So she's been tortured. She's been tortured for the entirety of the base game of BFA. We run around fixing everything as best we can. She gets released. She somewhat helps with the siege of Browse, and she summons back the fleet. She does 2 things for the people and is declared Lord Admiral. There's no real progression of winning the people over. There's nothing of that. If you want to have a character who is that far in the bad books win people over, she has to bleed for it. She has to bleed for it. She can't not bleed for it. What do I mean by bleed for it? Jaina escapes from her torture early. She's with us throughout the entirety of the BFA expansion. You know the little bits where you find her giving trinkets back to the people of Bralis? You can have those later on. What you have earlier on is her. You find her in random bits around the place. You know, there's pirates raiding this settlement. She's fending them off herself. Part of this would have to require her of being on a lower power level, or her being really run ragged, because she has to suffer for it. Suffering, pain is the cleanser. She can only strip away her sin by suffering. Think of it this way: say if someone refused to, like your brothers, your son, your father was brought off to war against the demonic horde, and your beloved leader's daughter sided with them, left them all to die at the hands of those mongrel bastards, and then she swans back in, saying sorry or wanting your help. You'd want her to suffer, wouldn't you? So that's why I'm saying that you may agree with her that she did the right thing with the whole founding of the Durotar thing. I do. I think she did the right move there. Her father wouldn't listen. He was fixated. All she could do was throw up her hands. Because siding with either group was betraying the other, and in a way she betrayed them both, but it's a lesser betrayal from a certain perspective. I agree with what she did. But to win the people over, to actually somehow become Grand Admiral, that's what she would have to do. She would have to show, I'm sorry. And so, like, you find her in Drustvar. You find her in, like, all the 3 zones of Koltiris, fighting the good fight against the local threats. Maybe you can get a quest offer during it to, like, help me do this. There's too many to save. I'm stretched too thin. Or maybe you find her after the fight. You find her wounded. Maybe you heal her up a bit, Or maybe you just talk to her. Maybe there's just a scene of her talking to the civilians that she saved. People being hunted down by the Drost hounds, some of Drost abomination, the old god horrors in the northern zone. She saved people from them. Maybe they spit on her all the same. Maybe they actually tank her. Maybe they just leave. There's stuff like this going on. She's a constant involvement throughout the quest chain, and she's running herself thin. Maybe there is an acknowledgement of, like, she hasn't slept in days. Maybe she's just running from putting out fire after fire after fire, rather than her just swanning in at the end, doing little to nothing, and becoming a Grand Admiral. The scene with the battle for, the siege of the Troll Place, and she stays behind and does this, last stand by herself. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. A grand gesture of, I'll hold off the, fleet by myself. And I could buy the Colterans if she's been involved in the storyline up to this point, them staying behind and bombarding the position, avoiding her, and trying to call the Horde. I could buy that being something that happens. Because it's just like, we should help her out kind of thing. She's trying to, let's stay behind and do something. I don't think they should actually engage themselves. Like, I know there was some boarding action on the ship portion of that boss fight, but I don't think there was any boarding action when she's doing her last stand. If there was, then there shouldn't be. It should just be her, water elementals, and, like, siege. If anything, So, like, she just swans in at the end, does 2 things, and that's it. She doesn't suffer for it, If she was suffering, like, she was tortured by the Drost, that's a fine thing for her as a character, yeah? But for the people of Koltiris, they don't know it, and they wouldn't care about it. They want her to suffer. They were ready to lynch her in the streets, break a fucking glass bottle and shank her, That's how I think they should have done it. but they just half-assed it and moved on. So it's really hard to get invested in the story when they refuse to be competent about it. Like they said before, they said this years ago, like, oh, we're going to pay more attention to our female characters. And this is the level of attention they're going to give. Maybe they're better being ignored. And again, they'll write lore books, they'll write stuff, and they'll just retcon them. Or, you know, they won't acknowledge them. It's there. It feels like there's a little quality control. There's little stuff going on with it, you know? There's no, like, someone saying yay or nay to things. It's just people writing stuff, putting it out, and then they decide afterwards whether or not they're going to use it or not. Like, they put out a whole canon comic where Medivh becomes Watcher of Terrasville, but then they decide afterwards, nah, he doesn't become it. Then why the fuck did you put that comic out? You know? If you're having people spend their actual fucking money on a lore book, you can't turn around and just declare it non-canon. Or start snipping bits out. It's one bit when it's an external company doing it, but when it's writers you're hiring or have on team to write these books, you know, have some fucking quality control. It makes it really hard to care about this. It makes it fucking hard. I'd love to have the kind of money to just buy WoW and then just fix it. Just like, Shadowlands non-canon. Fuck you. You know, fix things. Like, the set on a canon thing of what happened and setting the boundaries of the setting. We can grow the boundaries, but we grow within them. If that doesn't make sense. Let's say, like, here's the rules for Azeroth. This is how Azeroth works. And here's the story of the place. Okay, we want to do this story, but it doesn't really fit here. Okay. Well, what if we do bring it over here? We do it over here. Like I was saying, the whole Shadowlands idea that I was actually disappointed. I got excited about, then disappointed because it was my idea, not theirs, and such will never be a thing. Was that Shadowlands could have worked if it was set elsewhere. You know how they like Alt Draenor, that we've been to other planets. What if the whole Shadowlands idea was the idea of a different planet? The afterlife of a different place. It wasn't the afterlife of Azeroth. But, like, we go to a new world. The world is established in an expansion. Like, maybe it's this place it's so far out. Or maybe they've been fixated and didn't have the ability to, like, the Well of Eternity, the ripples draw through Sargeras in. It could have, if others could have noticed. Maybe they've only now been able to reach out. They didn't have the power, but the lust for it remained. Maybe it changed. Maybe it just went from, you know, desire for that power to just simply a it just became a duty to reach where that was. And the Well of Eternity is long gone, and it spins into a story from there. And then in the next expansion set on this place, it's set in its afterlife, a power reaching in from it, trying to, like, siphon off this whole new world, siphon in the dead from this whole new world. It's being able to touch another realm, and so it starts siphoning in heroes and villains, and so you get to see Uther again, you get to see Arthas, you get to see all these different characters, but it's not decanonizing their personal beliefs. Like, you know, Thorin dude from Warcraft 3, his whole afterlife has been proven false. But apparently he never acknowledges it in Shadowlands. He's just for the Shadowlands, and that's it. He never acknowledges that his whole religious belief is proven fucking false, and he was a very spiritual guy. That should be a big character moment, but apparently it never happened. I've never finished Shadowlands. Don't really feel like going back, but I probably should at some point. He never acknowledges it, apparently, that his whole afterlife is wrong and bullshit. His whole religion was a lie. So this would have been a way to have the jailer have this storyline, to be able to see these characters again, but without bastardizing who they are, what they believed, without decanonizing what's been canon from the get-go, or being canon since early on, you know? Have it set elsewhere and drag these people in. That's, you establish a new world like Draenor. There's a portal you can come and go, and through this portal, this evil force in the afterlife starts sucking in the souls of dead heroes and villains, and starts drawing them in from their deserved rest, or deserved end. And so you can still get the Scourge invasion again. Maybe they were just seeking the undead, seeking these tainted souls, But they started grabbing more than just that. So you could even fight a corrupted Uther domineered by this evil force. You could fight, free these people, and they become quest NPCs. You get to see them again. You get to see their reactions to how things have changed and what's gone on. And before they return to their deserved rest and end. So rather than the Lich King was only a pawn of the jailer, the jailer stands on his own. The Lich King stands on his own as separate entities. Maybe the Bolvar's up there as the Lich King. Maybe he's targeted by the jailer as ooh, undead minion, I'm the Lord of the Dead. You should be mine. And he doesn't get him. There's a cataclysmic clash. Not that Bolvar is able to fight him, but he's able to resist him enough, and the resistance shatters the Helm of Domination, and he's blasted away from the domineering grasp. And so he just settles himself on trying to steal the dead of Azeroth. I think this sounds a lot more exciting. And I'm yet again disappointed that this will never be a thing. Obviously there'll be storylines you couldn't carry over like that, people being carried off, the whole Sylvanas thing. You couldn't do some stuff, but the whole Sylvanas thing was stupid anyway, so. The painting. I already read all this before. So we'll ride over here, then we'll fly over. So yeah, that's what it's like. It's hard to get invested in Blizzard stories because they like fucking about. They don't like being consistent, and they like retconning things left, right, and center. Maybe it's because their staff doesn't actually know the stories. I don't know. Literally, Bellular Gaming was talking about this, where one of the Chronicles was put out, and they said that the whole Alliance war campaign of BFA happened before the Horde even landed in Zoldazar, even though events within the Alliance war campaign only happen when the Horde landed in Zoldazar. They struck out from Zoldazar against Kultiras. There's invasions in northern Kultiras of Horde, and they came from the Horde base in Zoldazar. The Horde base in Zoldazar is formed during the Horde war campaign, but apparently canonically takes place after the whole Alliance war campaign. Anyone else's head hurt? So, yeah. Apparently a lot of their team was the lore masters of the game. A lot of their team was fired, or let go, depending on how you want to phrase it, a while back. And then this new team came out. sorry, a lot of their lore team was. Wait, you don't count. You're Western playgrounds. So, this would be nice if it was instant.
I can't cast.
Yeah. Shit. So, what was I saying? Yeah, a lot of the team was fired. Then this Chronicle book was made by the new people that were hired in. But because the previous lore team was fired, they didn't have the dossiers done up for the new hires who had to now write the lore bibles for the game. So they had people who didn't really know the lore well trying to be, be the lore master with limited proper prepping. So new people, so old hands fired. Like the team was gutted. Old team was gutted. New people brought in to fill the role, but they weren't properly educated in WoW lore. So the lore book they put out was substandard and didn't make much sense.
How are you?
Okay, Raj.
See you.
So yeah, that's the
Pleased to meet
issue there.
You have a great day.
Oh, I don't have the fight time mod on. But, so yeah, that's what happened there. And again, just shows how little Blizzard cares for actual proper story consistency in writing. Fuck, I remember someone posting recently on a Facebook saying like, who cares about the story? No one pays attention to it. Why should it matter? And it's just like, I nearly had my head nearly exploded right there. I can only hope they were trolling and that's the reaction they wanted. It's not like I said anything. I didn't rise to debate there. I'm saying it here, which is still a fall, but I didn't say on there. I just like looked at it and eyes started bleeding. But the thing is, there's a lot of people that are like that, that they don't care about the story. They don't care about the lore of the setting. It's just ooh shiny. I guess that's who they're trying to appeal to, which is a shame. According to Belluar, they've been doing well on the recent expansion, but I'm hesitant to ever think Blizzard are doing well with any of their writing. They bicker with themselves so much, I think I may stop now. I've kind of ranted here for 49 minutes. But yeah, I'm again sad that the Shadowlands idea I had isn't canon. Because it could, you get to see the characters again, you get to see different stories again. You get to see their stories again without bastardizing what was being previously established. You get to play with it, but in a safer way. Oh! It's Chinese New Year. This is how I know events are coming. When, WoW events happen. Oh, and here's what I'm used to. This table. When I started playing the game before, this was what was here.
What can I
Were
do?
you at,
Be careful.
were you at, Anchorage?
Need help?
Maybe. Not Anchorage, but the place outside. The Warden's settlement. It said that Kel'Thuzad seeks the legendary Atesh, great staff of the Guardian. What is it? Like Kel'Thuzad, I too was once a mage at Kirin and like Kel'Thuzad, I seek the legendary Tesh, Great Staff of the Guardian. Fates are intertwined as such power. What Guardian? I don't understand any of this. Progeny of Agwyn, he that would be the last Guardian Terrasful, Medivh. It is a story of legend, and one that I do not have time nor the inclination to retell. Just know that Medivh was the last of the Guardians. The great staff of Atesh was the focal point of his power and focal point of corruption. What corruption? Corruption of Fallen Titan, the corruption of Destroyer. After all, the staff was forged from the seed of hate. That is, of course, what has brought me here. After the fall of Karazhan, the Kirin dispatched an assembly of mages, searched the tower, and seized all items of import, for the purposes of research. It was then that the fabled staff was discovered and brought back to Dalran. What followed was a series of tragic events leading to the death of every Kirin mage that came into contact with Atesh. You see, it was an artifact with sentience. Sentience granted to it by Sargeras. What? Not. After the deaths, the Six decided that the best course of action was to seal the staff by an impenetrable barrier to magic and appoint a watcher. A guardian of the staff. I will be that watcher. There is not much more to tell. Dalran was nearly wholly destroyed by Archimonde. Staff lost, presumably shattered by the barrier's fail-safe mechanisms. There are those that believe the staff to be the cause of Archimonde's reprisal. After the fall of Dalran, I took my leave from the Kirin. Spent years watching over Atesh, only to have my purpose amongst the Kirin taken from me in one fell swoop. I'll find the staff, though it might take a lifetime. That is how I came to join the Argent and I'm here now. I've tracked the various fragments of the staff across this world, and in doing so discovered Kel'Thuzad's plans to reform the staff. He's already collected several staff's fragments, which are being held by his most trusted lieutenants. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of keeping the great staff of the Guardian out of Kel'Thuzad's grasp. Frankly, I do not know what the result will be, other than a catastrophe of the epic proportion.
Safe travels.
So yeah, I remember these NPCs here, though nothing about the staff. By the time I was here, it's probably removed it.
See you around. Have a good one.
Bone site
Have a
digs.
good one.
30 bone fragments.
See you later. Greetings. For the Alliance. See you around.
This had better be
This is
good.
the holy.
What can I do for you?
Grounded penitent.
Can I help you?
You need something?
Members of the Argent that aren't held in check by morals, guilt, and useless human emotions. I don't let Scarlet Commander tell you otherwise, and don't let Tyros know I said that. It'd be a terrible shame if I had to brutally maim him should a brawl break out. So you're just a psychopath. Psychopaths are useful, but you keep them on a chain, you know? Where was I? Oh yeah, psychopaths. Yeah, they can be useful. But you keep them on a leash. Use them as attack dogs, then shove them in a cell again. You don't leave them walk around carrying giant axes and pretend that they actually are people, you know?
See you later.
Have you ever seen Dreadnought Armor Paladin? No, of course you haven't. You're still a boy at Tyke. Need scraps to put together sets of Dreadnought for our champions. Bring me scraps and get paid.
For the Alliance.
30 dark iron. So you bring these like resources to them, and you get tokens. Tokens you can trade in for gear.
What brings you here?
Renee,
Go in peace.
she's familiar. Does she do much elsewhere? 30 savage fronds.
Goddess Roger.
Hi.
Oh yeah, you want to
Back.
PvP stuff.
Pleased to meet you.
Okay, dungeon
Off and
quests.
away.
Light me with you. Be careful.
Ooh, here's
Need help?
the invasion quests.
Go with honor, friend. Well met.
Keeper of the rolls. Yes, what do you have there?
For the
How
Alliance.
tragic. These words could be meant for someone the soldier love never made it to their destination. Events detailed happened years ago. I'm not sure if the intended recipient still lives. There's hope yet, however. With the names and information it gives, I might be able to locate the family. Take some research for the librarian and Stormwind owes me a favor. Thank you for bringing this to me. With your help, we might be able to grant someone peace of mind at last.
Light bless you.
Can I help you?
Lich King has brought war against us from Frozen North, and only we of the Urchin Dawn stand in his way.
Be careful.
After you bring down the defenses of the Scourge Summoning Stones that appeared in zones under attack, you'll be able to confront the Acolytes and protect them. In truth, these are not men. They're shadows, some of Lich King's most frightening creatures. They might be revealed using the necrotic runes they carry. They can be revealed using the necrotic runes they carry, and destroyed with magic or strength of arms. You can get 5 of these.
See you around. Hey there.
Under shadow.
Have a good one.
The floating necropolises of the Scourge plague the lands of Horde and lands alike. The Nars, Blasted Lands, Winter Spring, and the Burning Steppes are blanketed in the shadows of these flying fortresses. Only through our combined efforts will they be turned away. The necropolises are supported by magic circles at various points in the invaded areas. Determined that destroying the mindless hordes that surround these circles will destroy their defenses. Okay.
For the Alliance.
I can't use that.
Argent Dawn Quartermaster? Can't even
Hey
talk to
there.
him. Champion. The battle's won for the time being. Scourge has been pushed back.
Be
Magic
careful.
items. Greater Mark of the Dawn. And increase stamina for an hour, 1 second. Oh, sorry. For an hour, 1 second cooldown.
Greetings.
Time has come for Horde and Alliance to look towards the north in the invasion of Scourge. Recent days, territories across Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdoms have come under attack. Take up arms to save your land from destruction at their hands. What's happening? The tides of war have come again from the cold north. The Lich King's necropolises have laid siege to our lands, and he and his cursed general Kel'Thuzad send flying necropolises to invade across the world. What can I do? Scourge is establishing small staging points in areas under attack, receiving communications and other assistance from necropolises that fly overhead. From what we can tell, the only way to root them out is by killing the ground forces that surround the points. Where are we battling them? The Scourge brought only small forces to bear against each of Azeroth's capital cities, while their main forces periodically attack the following lands: Ashara, the Blasted Lands, Burning Steppes, Tanaris, Eastern Plague Lands, and Winter Spring. Counter an attack. Time being is free. Where else? Blasted Lands. Okay. Another question. How many battles have we won? 48 against the Scourge. Scourge yourself, Guric, for this war is far from over.
For the Alliance.
Still a lot, given that it's just happened.
Here there.
Craftsman Omarion just vanished one night, like a toot in the wind. Poof, gone. Bah, I'm the only one left to craft the goods for the boys in the front lines. Omarion? Oh, this is active?
Hey, good.
Yeah, let's turn that off. Just get rid of it. Oh, here it is. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop for a moment and go get a drink. Watch through it. The earth still breathes. It yearns to be cleansed.
Hey.
I've been excuse me, old habit. I'm Rembrandt of the Orkin Ring. That is wondrous, but even this foul sundered earth is not beyond healing. I think we should take the Warcraft tree, you know, taking out Scourge buildings, putting down a human one, curing it is just a mechanical thing. Ooh, this is how you start the Karazhan bit. Going all ventures and treasure hunters, let it be known that the current Tour has authorized the disbursement of considerable funds to individuals able to descend into crypts below Karazhan, cover a particular magical artifact. Any other treasure, curious, coin recovered is of no consequence to the order, may be retained as additional compensation. Interested parties should report to. The bottom of the note has been torn off and rest details are missing. But as if someone was looking to hire adventurers to recover something valuable from the Karazhan crypts in Deadwood Pass. You can't be sure who posted this flyer or where to find them, but the idea of a considerable reward from a well-established and deep-pocketed organisation such as Kirin Tor, as well as the cache of hidden treasure up for taking, is an admittedly interesting prospect. Head over to Deadwood Pass and investigate the crypts. I wish they showed us upside-down Karazhan. Would be nice. That's hard. I'll get these auctions going again, because I think they'll get some attention. This is the most people have seen here in a while. People are excited for Phase 8. 7, sorry. I do hope we get a Phase 8. That'll be nice. Apparently this is meant to be the last thing, but you never know.
Inventory is full.
You need something?
See you later.
Okay, so. Huh. Found these. 2. Sure. No, I want these. Suppose I could have cooked that up, but I don't really care right now. Cue me carrying in 5, 4. Sure, let's just get rid of it. Let's just get rid of this. I went overboard on those grinding stones. I was kind of still sick at the time when I was doing it, so I was just like, dit. Just make more, make more. Well, yeah, like I said, went overboard. Treats your Seal of Dawn bonus as if you're wearing 2 additional sanctified items. Equipping more than 8 provides no additional benefit. That stuff is for Nax. Sanctified gear is a... Fuck, whatever. I just don't care. Uh, it's a new thing introduced for those who don't know. It's a you have this particular item on, and it gives you bonus stats, substantially so, based on the amount of sanctified gear you're wearing. Sanctified gear is a new type of gear introduced in this patch, like it wasn't in Classic. So the more sanctified bits of gear you have on, the more powerful you get. It also depends on the tier of trinket you have, Seal the Dawn or whatever it's called. The better tier you have of it, the more bonus you get per piece. So there's like two forms of scaling. More bits of armor and a better trinket. Oh, I got that. Oh, let's go sell it. I shouldn't have made those two swords. Took a hell of a loss on them. It's getting to the point where I may just vendor them. Or stick them in the bank as a thing of shame.
Inventory is full.
Normally I'll be excited seeing that food sold, but I don't really care, given that what's sold is wrongly priced. Happened the other day, too. I'm getting close to just vendoring these. The only thing is I can sell them at any price and just keep reapplying them for free, so it's no big deal, as long as I don't group them. These, on the other hand, I am paying a bit on. This constant failing is getting quite aggravating. Residue. I think I need to get more of that if I want to raise up my standing with the Torrent Brotherhood. But I've kind of missed all of Molten Core, so I don't think that matters anymore. Jeez, I think I made about $1,000 here. Just shy. There we go. Yeah, about $1,000. Awesome. Feel like I should go put up some more auctions, but really care to.
Hello. Farewell.
What was I planning on doing? I don't remember. Here, I'm just gonna stop for a bit. BRB, folks. I'll go get that drink. I kind of need one now after all that giving out.